Woo, jeez, that shadow ban was a mess. It was a mess. It was a mess. I wasn't even finna come back over here posting. I thought TikTok had them fired me leading up to their departure. But we got some YSL updates, so let's get into it and let's see how this content do. Like and comment to help me continue to break my shadow ban. When court resumed yesterday, I was curious as to why Miles Farley was entering into a plea agreement on 3 different counts, one including the RICO, the other Mr. Drinks, and the other possession of a firearm without being registered, something to that nature, chat. But anyway, he was in court taking a plea, and he don't have a criminal record. And the evidence shows that he just was a designer in the car. So after hearing everything that went on in the courtroom, it was just discovered that Mr. Farley felt like that was what was in his best interest. And you got to kind of understand the way the law works. Our guilty, layman guilty, is not a court's guilty. He could be found guilty simply because he was in the company of those fellas. He could be found guilty simply because he was in a car when they was arrested for the unaliving of Mr. Drinks. And he could be also arrested and found guilty if the firearm was just in the car and nobody was in possession of it. So I'm guessing based on all those factual acknowledgments, Mr. Farley went ahead and took the plea. The plea was pretty sweet. 5 years probation. If he completed successfully, he won't be a convicted felon. All time served. That was it on Mr. Farley. Okay, so now let's move on to a different courtroom where Shannon Stillwell was represented by Max Shard. His wife was present, Head Keller, and his dad.
Good morning, Mr. Jackson.
Good morning.
As you stand before me today, you are here on 3 indictments. Indictment 22 SC 181814, Indictment 22 SC 185532, Indictment 23 SC 188183. My understanding in consultation with the state and your attorney is that we have a global resolution to all 3 cases. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, and you're going to be entering a plea of guilty to certain charges in these 3 indictments. So if you will you raise your right hand?
I really couldn't understand Shannon charges because it seemed like the same charges that was being read off about Shannon in this court is the same charges Shannon just got acquitted on in Whitaker's court, with the exception of the phone and the iPods being found in the jail cell, for lack of better words.
The next time you get a felony conviction, you're going to be looking at a lot of years. And nobody's going to say yes to probation under any circumstances.
Oh, yeah. It seems that Shannon was at some point involved in a car accident and he had no license, he had no insurance, and he caused bodily harm. That was also up for plea.
Don't be late. Don't miss that appointment because they will come back to court and ask me to issue a warrant for you failing to appear. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So at this time, is there anything else from either party?
Judge, just Mr. Sharp had recommended. I have no intention of leaving my office anytime soon, at least voluntarily. So Mr. Sharp and I have built up a point of trust and communication over the years. I have no problem with Mr. Sharp reaching out to me if there's any exceptions that are necessary. That's great.
And also for the record, I will waive fines and fees for these 3 cases since he's already on probation in another case.
Thank you.
Well, you know, if you've been following it, you know Max did his thing. And I think Shannon White, Head Keller, sat as co-counsel, and Shannon went home.
All right. If there's nothing further, then all parties are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, that concludes the business after probation is done between that excuse.
Yes.
See you tomorrow.
All right.
Judge, position 7 on the final plea calendar.
Hold on.
Excuse me. position 1 on the final plea calendar.
All right.
Yeah, he was waiting on processing out, but his deal ended with some more probation time. Sound like 12 to 15 years probation time and all the jail time served. Let's move over to Yak Gotti courtroom, because here's where things kind of got perplexed for me. So Yak Gotti went before a whole totally different judge, and his judge seems a little bit more strict. But ultimately, it was a warrant out for Yak Gotti, and they couldn't issue the bond until they determined the terms and agreement by which the warrant was placed, and if they plan to pursue the charges, the state that is. The judge in Yak's case is also reasonably questioning where Yak will go, because, of course, all of them face the banishment from the metro Atlanta area, with the exception of Yak. They're going to allow him to go somewhere as long as it ain't his mama house. That's what I got from court. He, just like the others, have to have no contact with any co-defendants or anyone associated with a criminal street gang. Yak does have to go back to court before the actual bond is put into place. I think he gonna be a few more days. Y'all, everybody jumped ship not knowing that there are other fellas. I think it's like 3 or 4 of them still waiting to complete this process. We still have to keep an eye on how this goes, because all of them deserve justice, not just the ones that sat with Thug. I'm out.